Not safe for work. What is perfectly legal, but creepy as hell? Exploiting your kids for fame on social media. Paparazzi. Lawyer here. I once had a client drink another person's unflushed pee from a public toilet. The judge clearly hated that he had to dismiss my client's case. Those toddlers in tiaras pageants. Walking into an elevator and not turning around. Following people on the street for extended periods of time. Child beauty pageants. Divorce lawyer here. People fighting like mad to get the dog in the divorce and then turning it over to a shelter out of spite. Although now in CA there can be serious consequences for doing that due to law changes about pets and divorce, but it wasn't always that way. Smelling a seat when someone stands up. Sitting at a pool, with a camera. Fully clothed. Sitting beside someone in a bus train when there are multiple available seats. I babysat for this couple that had a 3- and 6-year-old. They both still breastfed. They were pretty normal otherwise. I don't even mind extended breastfeeding. Like the 3-year-old was whatever. Seeing that 6-year-old pull down her mother's shirt and latch was creepy. Saving your milk from your bowl of cereal in a jug in the fridge for guests. Edit: I didn't mention that it's a family jug. Mowing my lawn in nothing but a Speedo bathing suit. The Trade Federation blockade around Naboo. Really specific, but this is my job, so I know about it. In the EU there is a lot of restrictions on how you handle animals for research. Directive 2010/63 EU. But there is no restrictions on the kind of animal data you use for research, as long as you didn't collect the data from living animal subjects in an EU member state. So you can use data that was drawn from animals living in the most appalling conditions and in contravention with any and all animal welfare standards, and it's perfectly legal. Taking photos of strangers. 18-year-old male adopting 17-year-old female. Children modeling. The industry is creepy and bad. Smelling people. Marrying a child is legal in 40 US states. If you are on a public sidewalk, you can film through people's windows into their house. There is no expectation to privacy for anything that can be viewed from a public space. If you want the inside of your home truly private, close your windows. Edit: in the USA. Filming the scene of accidents while emergency healthcare is being delivered. Telling the world you would have sex with your daughter if she wasn't your daughter. Child marriage. There is still some issues with people being able to fly drones and spy on folks because of FAA regs in not being able to shoot them down. Standing on your own front porch and not moving at 3 a.m. Screaming in a public place just like that. Unless it's a curfew, of course, or you're yelling at another person. Bringing your own chair and water glass from home and waiting for the train. Sex with animals in Denmark. Skull. Peeing in a urinal next to someone. Staring at someone with minimal blinking and not at all trying to hide it while not speaking or doing anything else. Buying used underwear. Pulling the legs off a live insect one by one. Knocking on someone's front door to sell them something, talk about religion, collect charity, etc. Licking a spill directly from the table. Crawling around in the city wearing a penguin costume covered in mayo. In Germany at least it is not forbidden to buy a bike lock and just lock up random bikes from strangers. Edit: OK NVM. Seems like it is forbidden to do so. My whole life was a lie. Apparently Kevin Spacey. Spiders. The fact that Epstein's client list hasn't been released. Japan didn't have child porn laws until quite recently. And it still doesn't cover depicted sexualization of minors in anime. Tabloid journalism, speculating random BS things about famous people off creep photos from paparazzi, speculating about health, relationships, etc., even going so far as to doctor photos just to sell the story they want. 35-year-old people, who wait for months until someone turns 18 to hit on them. The day they turn 18, they are in their DMs, etc. Why is this creepy? Because they are predators and trying to seduce, manipulate someone who is adult by law, but pretty much still a child. And if the law allowed younger, then they would do it. Necrophilia was legal in the Netherlands until June this year. In my country, from what I'm aware, upskirt camera filming because that's somehow not a reasonable level of privacy to expect when in public. YA. A commentator looked it up and stated it's not illegal here. Thank goodness. I remember when the initial ruling was made and apparently the judge felt there was no reasonable expectation of privacy when wearing a skirt in public. Rulings like this just make me feel like judges are telling in themselves. Tell someone you dreamed of them. Daddy-daughter purity balls. Taking pictures of people in public without their consent. Fondling my ass with a flute made out of a carrot while eating my toenails out of a stranger's belly button. Those states where you can marry underage people. Companies that keep calling you back after you've told them to F off. Groping women for up to tens in Italy. Walking on the streets with a glass of water. Beauty pageants. Being a Discord mod. 42-year-old dating an 18-year-old. Going to youth sports games when you have no relation to any of the players. Had an employee that religiously went to the local high school's girls' basketball games despite being in his 30s, not going to the school, and not having a daughter-niece family friend playing. My friend's dad took us to the gym when we were kids. There was a line of like 30 treadmills with only one person, a lady on the end. He proceeds to pick the only treadmill adjacent to hers. LOL. Even as a kid I was like, come on man. Child beauty pageants. It is like someone is trying to make toddlers sexy. It is gross, vile, and creepy as FCK. Mormon temple ceremonies. Bankrupting people with healthcare. The fact that Google, Facebook and Elon Musk can buy the whole internet and that's not considered monopoly. OSINT framework because it is legal to certain extents. Spanking in school is legal in 19 states here in the US. Being 70 and marrying an 18-year-old. Sitting alone at a bus stop at 2 a.m. dressed like a clown. In some places it's totally legal to eat human flesh and buy human leather. Commissioning a sex doll based on a friend. Videoing people in